The prophecy of Isaiah chapter 33 verse 12 is one of the Bible's most intriguing and mysterious passages. The peoples will be burned to ashes like lime, like cut thorn bushes, they will be set ablaze. What does this message mean? What fate awaits the whole world mentioned here? In this video, we will delve into the historical and spiritual context of the prophecy, explore other biblical passages that complement its meaning, and ultimately uncover how it points to eternal truths that still resonate today. By the end, you will understand the profound symbolism of this prophecy and its relevance to our times. Isaiah 33 is a chapter rich in symbolism and warnings. The prophet Isaiah, inspired by God, writes during a time of great tension in Israel. The Assyrians, a nation renowned for their cruelty and military might, were threatening to destroy Jerusalem. The chapter begins with a denunciation of traitors and oppressors. Woe to you, destroyer! You who have not been destroyed. Isaiah chapter 33 verse 1. The text unfolds as a cry for divine justice. Isaiah highlights God's power to intervene and save his people, while emphasizing that those who reject the Lord will face destruction. It is within this framework that verse 12 emerges, warning that the nations will become like burned lime and cut thorn bushes, set ablaze, vivid images of utter devastation. In the Bible, fire frequently symbolizes purification, judgment, and divine presence. In Exodus, God manifests as a burning bush before Moses, Exodus chapter 3 verse 2, demonstrating that fire can signify holiness and guidance. However, fire is also used as an instrument of judgment. In the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, God destroys the cities with fire and brimstone, Genesis chapter 19 verse 24, symbolizing the consequences of sin. Isaiah chapter 33 verse 12, with its reference to burned lime, evokes the process of calcination. In ancient times, lime was made by burning limestone at high temperatures. This process symbolizes severe and irreversible judgment. The cut thorn bushes, on the other hand, evoke futility, things of no value or use, cast into the fire to be consumed quickly. The concept of cut thorn bushes appears elsewhere in the Bible, often as a metaphor for the wicked or those who resist God. In Ezekiel chapter 2 verse 6, God warns the prophet not to fear the thorn bushes that represent opponents of his plan. In the New Testament, Jesus uses thorn bushes as a symbol of things that choke spiritual life or bear no fruit. Matthew chapter 13 verse 7. These images help us grasp Isaiah's message. The peoples mentioned are not just specific groups, but represent all nations and individuals who turn away from God and choose iniquity. Just as thorn bushes are burned, rebellious will face inevitable judgment. The destruction of oppressive empires like Assyria and Babylon serves as historical evidence of this prophecy's fulfillment. These nations, who rose in pride and rejected the God of Israel, were ultimately overthrown and destroyed like chaff in the wind. However, Isaiah's prophecy points to an even greater fulfillment tied to the final judgment. In Revelation, John describes the fate of the wicked, and they were thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. Revelation chapter 20 verse 10. This connection between Isaiah and Revelation reveals that the fire Isaiah speaks of is not merely literal, but spiritual and eternal. But what does this mean for us today? What are the cut thorn bushes or fruitless superficialities we must cast off in our lives, as reflected in this prophecy? Isaiah speaks not only of the past or a distant future, he calls us to reflect in the present. The image of burned lime and cut thorn bushes serves as a reminder that choices have consequences. Just as God is just in punishing the wicked, He is merciful in offering salvation to all who turn to Him. We live in a time where many question divine justice and reject the principles of the gospel. Isaiah's prophecy is a call to humility and repentance, for God does not want anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. Peter chapter 3, verse 9. Here lies the crucial question. What does Isaiah really want to teach us with this prophecy? The fire mentioned is not solely destructive, but also purifying. Just as lime is used for building, God's fire is not only to destroy the wicked, but to purify and prepare His people for something greater. The peoples who will burn in the fire are not just God's enemies, but also those who, passing through the fire of trials, will be transformed. In Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13, Paul explains, "Each one's work will be revealed. The day will disclose it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test the quality of each one's work. For the righteous, fire is a refining process, not a destructive one." Isaiah chapter 33, verse 12 is both a warning and a promise. It reminds us that God is just in His wrath, but also gracious in His plan of redemption. While the wicked are consumed like thorn bushes, the righteous are purified and exalted. The choice is ours. We are called to abandon the path of thorn bushes and embrace the path of life. After all, fire is not merely an end, but a means of revealing what truly endures. Just as Isaiah called out to his people, this text is an invitation to spiritual reflection and transformation. May we choose to be purified by God's fire rather than consumed by it. What a powerful lesson we can draw from this prophecy for our times, right?